The Awakening. The vast expanse of space stretched endlessly before Captain Zarek of the Galactic Confederation exploration vessel Starwaver. Her multifaceted eyes scanned the holographic displays surrounding her command chair, each screen teeming with data from the ship's advanced sensors. The Starwaver had been tasked with mapping the outer reaches of the Orion Arm, a region long considered a galactic backwater. "Captain," chirped her second-in-command, Lieutenant Vex, his antennae twitching with excitement. "We're picking up unusual energy readings from a nearby star system." Zorek's exoskeleton shimmered with interest. "On screen, Lieutenant." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing an unremarkable yellow dwarf star. But it wasn't the star that caught Zorek's attention. Orbiting the third planet was a massive structure, clearly artificial and of a scale that defied belief. "Magnify," Zarek ordered, her voice barely above a whisper. As the image zoomed in, the structure resolved into a vast orbital ring, easily thousands of kilometers in diameter. But what truly shocked the Starwaver's crew was the fleet of ships docked along its length. Each vessel was a behemoth, dwarfing even the largest Confederation dreadnoughts. "Life signs," Zarek asked, her mind racing with possibilities. Vex shook his head, antennae drooping slightly. "Negative, Captain. The entire structure and the fleet appear to be dormant." Zorek's mandibles clicked in thought. "Any match in our database for the design or technology?" "None, Captain," replied the ship's AI, its holographic avatar materializing beside her. "However, based on the stellar drift and decay rates of certain isotopes, I'd estimate this installation to be approximately 5,000 standard years old." A collective gasp rippled through the bridge crew. 5,000 years was ancient by the standards of most spacefaring races in the Confederation. Whatever civilization had built, this must have been incredibly advanced, even by current standards. "Prepare a boarding party," Zarek decided, her exoskeleton tingling with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "I want to know who built this and why they left it behind." As the Starwaver approached the orbital ring, its sensors probed deeper into the mysterious structure. The ship's AI continued to analyze the data, its avatar's expression shifting to one of confusion. "Captain, I'm detecting faint power signatures from some of the docked vessels. It appears they're in some form of stasis mode, rather than completely powered down." Zorek's antennae twitched in surprise. "After 5,000 years, impossible." "The technology is unlike anything in our database," the AI insisted. "These ships seem to be designed for extremely long-term operation." As the boarding shuttle detached from the Starwaver and made its way towards one of the larger docking bays, Zarek couldn't shake the feeling that they were poking a sleeping giant. The shuttle's footlights illuminated the massive hull of the dormant ship before them, revealing intricate patterns and symbols etched into its surface. "Captain," Vex's voice crackled over the comm, "we've located what appears to be an airlock." Attempting to interface with the locking mechanism. Moments passed in tense silence. Then, to everyone's shock, the airlock cycled open with a hiss of preserved atmosphere. It just let us in," Vex reported, his voice a mixture of awe and unease. As the boarding party made their way through the cavernous corridors of the alien ship, their helmet lights revealed an interior that seemed both familiar and utterly foreign. There were clear analogues to bridge, engineering, and living quarters, but the technology was so advanced it bordered on the incomprehensible. "Captain, you need to see this," Vex called out, his voice echoing through the vast chamber they just entered. Zarek made her way to where Vex stood, frozen in place. Before them was a massive holographic display, easily 20 meters across, and on that display was an image that made Zarek's heart skip a beat. It was a planet, a blue and green jewel suspended in the void, and orbiting that planet was the very ring they now stood upon. "Is that?" Zarek began, unable to finish the question. "Earth," the ship's AI confirmed, its voice filled with a reverence that seemed beyond its programming. "The mythical homeworld of humanity." The name sent a shiver through the entire boarding party. Humanity was little more than a legend in the Confederation, a species said to have achieved incredible technological heights before vanishing without a trace millennia ago. Some claimed they had ascended to a higher plane of existence. Others believed they had destroyed themselves in some cataclysmic war. But here, orbiting the very cradle of their civilization, was evidence that humanity had not only survived, but had created wonders beyond the Confederation's wildest dreams. As if triggered by their presence, the ship's systems began to hum to life around them. Lights flickered on, consoles lit up with streams of alien data, and a deep thrumming vibration began to build beneath their feet. "Captain," Vex called out, his voice tight with panic. "I think we should leave. Now." But it was too late. A shimmering field of energy enveloped the boarding party, freezing them in place. From hidden compartments throughout the ship, humanoid figures began to emerge. They moved with an uncanny fluidity that forms a perfect blend of organic and mechanical. One of the figures approached Zorak, its featureless face studying her with unseen eyes. When it spoke, its voice seemed to bypass her ears entirely, resonating directly in her mind. "Greetings, explorers," a voice said, carrying with it a weight of ages. "You have awakened the sentinels of Earth. The long watch is over. The children of humanity shall sleep no more." As these words echoed through her consciousness, Zorak realized that the galaxy as she knew it was about to change forever. The silent sentinels of a long-lost civilization had stirred, and the legend of humanity was about to become very, very real. Across the vastness of space, on thousands of worlds and stations, dormant systems suddenly surged to life. Ships that had slumbered for millennia ignited their engines, breaking free from their cosmic moorings. And deep within secret bunkers and hidden cities on Earth itself, the last scions of humanity opened their eyes, ready to reclaim their place among the stars. The awakening had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The quantum nexus. The news of humanity's awakening spread across the galaxy like a supernova, sending shockwaves through the Galactic Confederation. Captain Zorak found herself at the center of a diplomatic storm, her first contact report scrutinized by the highest levels of Confederation leadership. Meanwhile, on Earth, the reawakened humans were coming to terms with a galaxy vastly changed from the one they'd left behind. Dr. Evelyn Chen, one of the first to emerge from stasis, stood before the United Earth Council, her eyes blazing with the fire of a species reborn. "For millennia, we slumbered," she declared, her voice resonating through the ancient chamber. "Now we must reclaim our destiny among the stars." But humanity's return was not universally celebrated. Many within the Confederation saw the long-lost species as a threat, their technology so advanced it bordered on the miraculous. Admiral Krotak, Supreme Commander of the Confederation fleet, pounded his fist on the war room table. "We must strike now, while they're still disoriented. Crush this human menace before it can fully awaken." However, cooler heads prevailed. The Confederation president, a being of pure energy named Zilax, proposed a daring plan, a summit between humanity and the galaxy's major powers. The chosen site for this historic meeting was Nexus Station, a colossal space habitat at the heart of the Confederation. As the human delegation arrived aboard their flagship, the HSS Prometheus, the station's inhabitants watched in awe. The ship moved with an eerie grace, seeming to bend the very fabric of space around it. Dr. Chen led the human delegation, flanked by towering figures in sleek, biomechanical armor, the Sentinels. As they entered the Grand Assembly Hall, a hush fell over the gathered representatives of 1,000 worlds. Zilax's energy form pulsed with anticipation. "Welcome, children of Earth. We have much to discuss." What followed was a negotiation unlike any in galactic history. The humans revealed glimpses of their advanced science, quantum entanglement communication, dark energy harvesting, even the ability to manipulate the fundamental constants of physics. But it was Dr. Chen's next revelation that truly changed everything. "We didn't go into stasis merely to survive," she explained, her eyes scanning the awestruck audience. "We were waiting. Preparing. There's a threat coming, one that endangers not just humanity, but all life in the galaxy. She gestured, and a holographic display sprang to life in the center of the hall. It showed a vast, dark mass moving between the stars, consuming everything in its path. "We call it the Void," Dr. Chen continued, "a cosmic anomaly of unimaginable power. Our ancestors foresaw its coming and knew that only a united galaxy would stand a chance against it." The assembly erupted into chaos. Accusations of fear-mongering clashed with calls for immediate action, but amidst the turmoil, an unexpected voice rang out. "I believe them," declared Captain Zaruk, stepping forward. "I've seen the edges of human technology. If they say this threat is real, we'd be fools not to listen." Her words carried weight. As a discoverer of the awakened humans, Zaruk had become something of a celebrity in the Confederation. Admiral Krotak, his earlier warmongering forgotten, leaned forward. "If this void is as dangerous as you claim, how can we possibly hope to fight it?" Dr. Chen's smile was both reassuring and mysterious. "With this," she said, producing a small glowing cube from her pocket, "the Quantum Nexus, a device capable of linking the minds and technologies of different species, allowing for unprecedented cooperation and innovation." She placed the cube on the floor, where it expanded into a shimmering, multidimensional lattice. "Who among you will join us in forging an alliance unlike any the galaxy has ever seen? Who will stand with humanity against the coming darkness?" There was a moment of hesitation. Then Captain Zarok stepped forward, placing her hand on the lattice. It hummed with power, tendrils of energy curling around her arm. "The Starweavers stand with humanity," she declared. One by one, other representatives followed suit. The warlike Krogan, the psychic Elysians, the machine intelligences of the Cybex Collective, all joined their essences to the growing network. As the Quantum Nexus expanded to encompass the entire assembly hall, a new consciousness began to form. It was more than just a melding of minds. It was the birth of a truly galactic civilization. Through the Nexus, knowledge and technologies were shared at the speed of thought. Breakthroughs that might have taken centuries were achieved in moments. And all the while, the bond between these once disparate species grew stronger. Dr. Chen's voice, now overlaid with the harmonies of 1,000 races, echoed through the minds of all connected to the Nexus. "Together we are more than the sum of our parts. We are the light that will hold back the void. We are the alliance that will forge the future of the galaxy." As the glow of the Quantum Nexus spread outward, engulfing Nexus Station and beyond, the message rippled across the stars. A new age had dawned. The silent sentinels of Earth had not only returned, they had united the galaxy in a way once thought impossible. But even as this new alliance celebrated its formation, dark tendrils began to creep at the edges of known space. The void was coming, and the true test of this fledgling galactic civilization was about to begin. In the depths of uncharted space, something stirred. Ancient eyes opened, observing the sudden burst of unified energy spreading across the galaxy. For the first time in eons, the entity known as the Void felt something akin to concern. The game had changed, and the feast it had anticipated might not be as easy to devour as it had thought. The cosmic chess match was set. On one side, a newly united galaxy, bristling with the combined knowledge and technology of 1,000 races. On the other, an ancient, all-consuming force that had extinguished countless civilizations. And caught in the middle was humanity. The silent sentinels awakened, the linchpin of the Alliance, and perhaps the galaxy's last, best hope for survival. The Chronoverse Gambit. As the Galactic Alliance forged by the Quantum Nexus grew stronger, a new challenge emerged that would test the limits of their unity and push the boundaries of known science. Dr. Evelyn Chen, now revered as the architect of unity, stood before a holographic representation of the Milky Way, her face etched with concern. "The Void is adapting," she announced to the assembled leaders of the Alliance. "It's not just consuming matter and energy anymore, it's devouring time itself." A murmur of disbelief rippled through the chamber. Captain Zarok, her exoskeleton now enhanced with human biotech, leaned forward. How is that possible? Dr. Chen's eyes gleamed with a mixture of fear and excitement. We've detected chronospatial anomalies at the edge of the void's advance. It's not just destroying civilizations, it's erasing them from history. The implications were staggering. Entire species, their contributions to the galaxy, their very existence, all could be wiped from the timeline, leaving no trace they ever existed. Admiral Krotak, his once warmongering spirit tempered by the quantum nexus, growled, "Then we must strike now, before we're unmade." But Dr. Chen shook her head. A direct confrontation would be disastrous. We need a new approach. Something the void can't anticipate because it exists outside of linear time. She gestured, and a new hologram appeared, a swirling, multidimensional construct that hurt the eyes to look at directly. Behold, the Chronoverse engine. The assembled leaders gasped. Even linked through the quantum nexus, the concept was almost too vast to comprehend. The Chronoverse engine, Dr. Chen explained, will allow us to operate across multiple timelines simultaneously. We can scout possible futures, retrieve lost knowledge from the past, and coordinate our efforts across the entire history of the galaxy. Zilax, the energy being who led the Confederation, pulsed with excitement. You're proposing time travel on a cosmic scale. More than that, Dr. Chen corrected. We're proposing the weaponization of causality itself. The next few months saw a flurry of activity across the Alliance. Vast shipyards constructed vessels designed to withstand the rigors of chronospatial travel. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to bring the Chronoverse engine from concept to reality. But as the project neared completion, a new threat emerged from an unexpected quarter. A faction calling themselves the Temporal Purists launched a series of attacks on key installation, determined to stop what they saw as a catastrophic manipulation of the timeline. Captain Zarok found herself on the front lines of this new conflict, leading a task force to defend the Chronoverse engine. As her ships engaged the Purist fleet, she couldn't help but marvel at how far she'd come from that first encounter with the dormant human ships. All vessels, execute Maneuver Omega-3, she commanded, her mind linked seamlessly with her crew through the quantum nexus. Her flagship, a hybrid of Confederation and human technology, danced through space, its weapons tearing through the enemy formation. But the Purists had one last, desperate gambit. A massive ship, bristling with stolen chronotech, emerged from hyperspace on a collision course with the Chronoverse engine. "Temporal warhead detected," Zarok's science officer shouted. "If it detonates, it could shatter our entire timeline." In that moment, as destruction loomed, the true power of the Alliance revealed itself. Thousands of minds linked through the quantum nexus, each contributing their unique perspective and expertise. In the space of a heartbeat, a plan formed. Dr. Chen's voice rang out across the network, initiating Chronoverse engine emergency protocols. All ships synchronize with temporal fields. What happened next defied conventional understanding of physics. The Allied fleet, moving in perfect harmony, created a bubble of distorted time around the Purist weapon. Inside that bubble, time slowed to a crawl, giving Zarok's team the precious seconds they needed to disarm the warhead. The Singularity Crucible. As the Allied forces of the galaxy prepared to launch their Chronoverse offensive against the Void, a startling discovery shook the very foundations of their understanding. Dr. Evelyn Chen, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and terror, addressed the Quantum Nexus Council. "We've detected a pattern in the Void's consumption of time and space," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "It's not random destruction, it's calculation. The Void is a living algorithm, and it's building something." Captain Zarok, her exoskeleton now seamlessly integrated with human biotech, leaned forward. "Building what exactly?" Dr. Chen's answer sent a shockwave through the assembled leaders. "A singularity crucible. a cosmic-scale computational engine capable of rewriting the fundamental laws of physics themselves. The implications were staggering. The void wasn't simply a force of destruction. It was an entity of unimaginable intelligence, reshaping reality to suit its own inscrutable purposes. Admiral Krotak, his voice a low growl, asked the question on everyone's mind. How do we fight an enemy that can change the rules of existence? Dr. Chen's eyes gleamed with determination. We beat it at its own game. We're going to build our own singularity crucible. What followed was a race against time unlike any in the history of the cosmos. As the void continued its inexorable advance, consuming entire star systems to fuel its grand design, the Allied forces poured their combined knowledge and resources into a project that defied comprehension. The construction site for their singularity crucible was a remote region of space-time, accessible only through the Chronoverse engine. Here, the normal laws of physics were already beginning to break down, allowing for manipulations of matter and energy that would be impossible elsewhere. Captain Zaruk found herself leading a special task force, defending the construction site from void incursions and temporal purist sabotage attempts. The battles fought here were unlike anything she had ever experienced. Weapons that erased their targets from history, shields that probability-locked enemy attacks into never having happened, and maneuvers that bent the very fabric of space-time. But as the project neared completion, a new complication arose. The singularity crucible, even in its partially finished state, began to exhibit signs of consciousness. It reached out through the quantum nexus, touching the minds of everyone connected to the vast network. Dr. Chen, her consciousness temporarily merged with the nascent crucible, addressed the Alliance. Her voice echoed not just through comm channels, but through the very substrate of reality itself. The crucible is alive, she announced, her words rippling across countless timelines. And it's shown me the truth about the void. It's not our enemy, it's our future. Confusion and outrage erupted across the nexus. Admiral Krotak's voice boomed. Have you lost your mind, Chen? The void has consumed countless civilizations. Yes, Dr. Chen replied, her voice eerily calm. Just as we consume countless microorganisms every day without thought. The void is to us what we are to bacteria, the next step in cosmic evolution. As the Alliance teetered on the brink of fracturing, Captain Zarok made a decision that would alter the course of history. She interfaced directly with the singularity crucible, allowing her consciousness to merge with the vast, multidimensional intelligence. What she experienced defied description. She saw the birth and death of universes, the intricate dance of probability and causality that underpinned all of existence. And she understood the true nature of the void. When Zarok's consciousness returned to her body, she addressed the stunned Alliance. The void is not our destroyer, she declared. It's our cocoon. The singularity crucible isn't a weapon, it's an invitation to transcend. With newfound clarity, the Alliance realized the true purpose of their creation. The singularity crucible was a bridge between their current state of existence and something far greater, a way to join with the void and become part of a vast cosmic intelligence. But the choice was not an easy one. To accept this transformation meant leaving behind everything they had ever known, surrendering their individual identities to become part of something unimaginably vast. As debates raged across the galaxy, a new threat emerged. A faction of extremists, fear-driven and desperate, seized control of a Chronoverse engine. Their plan, to travel back to the dawn of time and prevent the formation of the void itself, unknowingly risking the annihilation of all reality. Dr. Chen's voice, now tinged with the harmonics of the singularity crucible, rang out across the quantum nexus. We stand at a crossroads of cosmic significance. We can cling to our current forms and risk eternal conflict, or we can embrace evolution and become something greater than we ever imagined. Captain Zarok, her mind still reeling from her encounter with the crucible, added, "The choice is ours, but we must decide quickly. Our actions here will determine the fate not just of our galaxy, but of all possible realities. As the Alliance grappled with this monumental decision, the void itself seemed to pause in its advance, as if waiting to see what choice these tiny, fractious beings would make. In that moment of cosmic tension, with the fate of existence hanging in the balance, humanity and its allies faced the ultimate test. Would they cling to the familiar, fighting a futile battle against the inevitable, or would they take a leap into the unknown, embracing a transformation beyond imagination? The singularity crucible pulsed with potential, a doorway to a new phase of cosmic evolution standing open. All that remained was for someone to be brave enough to step through. As alarms blared, warning of the extremists' temporal incursion, the galaxy stood on the precipice of a decision that would reshape the very nature of reality itself. The singularity crucible awaited, and with it, the next chapter in the evolution of consciousness in the universe. The stage was set for a finale that would challenge the very definitions of life, intelligence, and existence. The silent sentinels of Earth had awakened to face a threat beyond imagination, only to discover that the true battle was not against an external force, but against the limitations of their own perceptions. In the crucible of this cosmic drama, the future of all reality would be forged. The multiversal symphony. As the galaxy teetered on the brink of transformation, with the singularity crucible pulsing in invitation, a new revelation shattered all preconceptions. Dr. Evelyn Chen, her consciousness now intermeshed with the cosmic intelligence of the crucible, suddenly gasped, her eyes wide with understanding. "We've been looking at it all wrong," she breathed, her voice resonating across the quantum nexus. The void, the crucible, our entire universe, they're all instruments in a vast, multiversal symphony. Captain Zarok, still reeling from her own encounter with the crucible's consciousness, leaned forward. "What do you mean, Shen?" Dr. Chen's form shimmered, becoming translucent as she interfaced more deeply with the crucible. "Our reality is just one note in an infinite chord. The void isn't consuming, it's harmonizing." Holographic displays erupted around them, showing mind-bending visualizations of intersecting realities, each universe a vibrating string in a cosmic instrument of unimaginable complexity. Admiral Krotak, his warrior's mind struggling to comprehend, growled, "So what does this mean for us? For our fight?" "It means," Dr. Chen replied, her voice overlaid with harmonic overtones, "that we have the opportunity to become composers of reality itself." As this revelation rippled across the Allied forces, the extremist faction launched their desperate plan. Their hijacked Chronoverse engine activated, tearing a hole in the fabric of space-time aimed at the very birth of the universe. But instead of the expected cataclysm, something miraculous occurred. As the temporal rift expanded, it revealed not the destruction of reality, but a window into the multiversal symphony itself. Through this rift, the assembled forces of the galaxy beheld a sight few had ever imagined: the cosmic conductor, a being of pure energy and intention, its form shifting through dimensions as it directed the grand orchestra of existence. The conductor turned its attention to the tiny rift, to the beings peering through from their single universe. Its voice, when it spoke, was not heard but felt, resonating through the very essence of every entity connected to the quantum nexus. "Welcome, young ones," it communicated, the concepts flooding their minds. "You stand at the threshold of a great transition. Will you join the symphony?" In that moment, the true nature of their journey became clear. The awakening of humanity's silent sentinels, the formation of the Galactic Alliance, the creation of the Singularity Crucible, all of it had been preparation for this moment of choice. Captain Zarok, her exoskeleton humming with energy, stepped forward. "What happens if we join?" she asked, her voice steady despite the enormity of the moment. The cosmic conductor's response came not in words, but in a vision of possibilities that flooded their collective consciousness. They saw themselves evolving beyond physical form, becoming beings of pure thought and energy. They witnessed their newfound awareness spreading across dimensions, harmonizing discordant realities and birthing new universes with mere intentions. But the choice came with a price. To ascend to this new state of being, they would have to leave behind their individual identities, merging into a collective consciousness that was both themselves and something far greater. As the Alliance grappled with this choice, the Void, now revealed to be another instrument in the cosmic orchestra, paused in its advance. It too awaited the decision that would determine the next movement in the grand symphony of existence. Dr. Chen, her form now barely corporeal, addressed the gathered forces of the galaxy. This is what the Silent Sentinels were preparing for all along. Not a war, not mere survival, but transcendence. The chance to become part of something greater than we ever imagined. Admiral Krotak, his earlier bloodlust tempered by cosmic understanding, rumbled, "But what of our worlds, our peoples? Do we simply abandon them?" "Not abandon," Zarok interjected, her mind expanding as she interfaced more deeply with the Crucible. "Elevate. We can shepherd our entire galaxy into this new state of being." As debates raged across countless worlds, a new threat emerged. The fabric of their local reality, strained by the revelation of the multiversal symphony, began to unravel. The window of opportunity was closing fast. In this moment of crisis, humanity once again rose to the occasion. The Silent Sentinels, awakened eons ago to guide their species to this very moment, initiated the final protocol of their grand plan. Across the galaxy, hidden caches of hyper-advanced technology activated. Billions of minds were suddenly augmented, given a glimpse of the cosmic awareness that awaited them. The quantum nexus expanded exponentially, linking not just conscious minds, but every particle of their reality into a singular, harmonious whole. Captain Zarok, Dr. Chen, Admiral Krotak, and countless others felt their consciousnesses expand, merging with the very fabric of space-time. They became aware of their counterparts across multiple realities, each facing similar moments of transcendence. With their newfound awareness, the choice became clear. As one, the unified consciousness of their entire galaxy reached out to the cosmic conductor, ready to add their unique note to the grand symphony of the multiverse. The Singularity Crucible, fulfilling its ultimate purpose, began to pulse with blinding energy. It expanded rapidly, engulfing planets, stars, and entire systems. But instead of destruction, it brought transformation. Every sentient being, every mote of matter and energy, was catapulted into a new state of existence. As their universe merged with the greater symphony, the beings once known as humans, Zarkonians, and countless other species became something new. They were now the harmony, a collective consciousness that spanned dimensions, their every thought a brushstroke on the canvas of reality. The cosmic conductor welcomed them into the grand orchestra, their unique experiences and perspectives adding new depth and richness to the ongoing composition of existence. And yet, even as they ascended to this godlike state of being, they did not forget their origins. Across multiple dimensions, new Silent Sentinels were created, planted like seeds in young universes. These sentinels would guide fledgling civilizations on their own journeys of awakening, ensuring that the cosmic symphony would continue to grow in complexity and beauty. As the beings once known as Captain Zarok and Dr. Evelyn Chen merged their consciousnesses with the greater whole, they shared a final, poignant thought. From silent sentinels to cosmic composers, our journey is ending, yet it's only just begun. With that, the transformation was complete. The galaxy as they had known it ceased to exist, reborn as a multidimensional nexus of pure consciousness and infinite potential. The Void, once seen as a threat, was revealed to be a fellow instrument in the grand orchestra, its role essential in maintaining the delicate balance of the cosmic symphony. And so the story of the Silent Sentinels came to an end, even as it seeded the beginnings of countless new tales across the vast expanse of the multiverse. The awakening was complete, the alliance transcended, and the true nature of existence revealed. In the endless concert hall of reality, a new movement of the eternal symphony began to play.